I've become quite interested in hornet farming recently. It's something I've covered in rural, tribal communities, eating them as a source of protein. But it is not something I expected to find in the middle of Japan. But here in Gifu, they don't just catch, raise, cook, and eat hornets. They hold a yearly competition to see who can do it the best. So naturally, it's time to find out who is the best hornet farmer out there. And what's the buzz about? Is this stuff actually good? Alright guys, we've just arrived at this Japanese community center. Here I believe we are about to meet the Hebo girls who are cooking up these hornets this morning in preparation for the festival tomorrow. Alright guys, we're going to try and work out together with our Japanese speaking expert exactly how this process goes down. Erin, have you ever seen anything like this before?
Never in my life. Never even heard of it.
It's not like a common Japanese food. What about this kind of preparation? Do they usually eat these kind of rice popsicles?
Yeah, gohae-mochi. It's quite familiar. Everyone knows about it.
This in fact has hornet paste, a miso, like a kind of fermented soybean paste. And in this case, it has hornets inside. Let's check out the first process. The recipe begins with short grain sticky rice steamed to soft perfection. It's then lightly mashed, just enough to hold its texture, but sticky enough to mold. So the next step, I think, is to make some kind of ball out of the rice. How much are we looking for in each popsicle?
160.
That's pretty big. Wet hands then shape the rice into flat ovals. Some of the cooks gently shape the mochi onto soaked sticks by hand, while others use these wooden molds so that they can get the shape just right. The skewers are then racked in these specialized boxes that provide airflow and will allow the rice to set. One thing all of this is behind me is definitely a lot of work. I mean, these guys have been cooking for one day already. This is day two. They're going to be grilling it at the festival tomorrow. Where is the miso? The hornet paste itself is made with crushed peanuts, crushed walnuts, chestnut, sesame. That's mixed with miso. Some sugar is added along with soy sauce and mirin. And the hornets are going to be stir-fried and mixed in a little bit later. This mixture is prepared ahead of time, stored in the fridge so that it can be applied right before the mochi is grilled tomorrow on the barbecue. Do you have any hebo left we can see or not?
The real one.
Oh, the real one. Oh, we have hebo. So much hornet is consumed in this area that the frozen larvae used here in the recipe actually comes all the way from China. The community here simply cannot produce enough to meet the demand. Oh, guys. I've never seen an entire kitchen dedicated to cooking bugs in the same way that this is right now. It's like a bug bonanza. Everybody's excited. I can feel it in the air. And to be honest, it's taking an effect. I've never been as excited to eat bugs. This looks good. I'm not gonna lie. They even hit the bugs. So Anna, what is the name of this group?
Their group name is Hebo Girls, but it consists of the 4 of them, and then the rest, everyone here is just helping out.
Why is this food so popular here?
So the first reason she was stating is because it's really fun to catch them. It's usually the dad and his kid, or just the dad who goes out and get the hebo, and then the mom usually cooks that. But they learn this process and this eating. They do it since they're a child. So that's why they don't really have any...
It's normal for them.
It's normal for them, exactly.
And in case you're wondering, these wasps do sting. And man, do they pack a punch for such tiny little creatures.
The second one is you can get hebo in the forest. You get the nest in July and you eat it in autumn. But now it's more of a seasonal dish now.
Yeah, it's part of the culture and something they eat just this time of year.
Thank you for the harvest.
Oh, almost like a celebration for the previous year's harvest. Oh, that's really cool. I like that. What is the mission of this group here? Why do they keep doing it now?
Main reason is to keep the tradition alive, yeah.
This is a once-a-year event. Everybody is excited for this moment. Just a short drive from the community center, we find ourselves in the company of some seasoned hornet farmers, quiet craftsmen who offered a rare look into their world. All right, so guys, we're headed down here to some kind of public hornet nest that has potentially, it's inside anyway. Tending to nest they'll put on display at tomorrow's competition. Wow, these things are everywhere. All right, guys, if you've ever wondered what a Japanese hornet farm looks like, it is here. Kuro suzumebachi, or hebo wasps, are the insect at the heart of this unique tradition. It combines family bonding, innovation, and culinary culture. These small black hornets are not only prized for their flavour, but also for the craftsmanship involved in catching and raising them. I'm not gonna lie, it looks pretty fun.
So like maybe you like gather with your friends, like close friends, and be like, let's go get that hebo together.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like.
The process begins with the hunt. Often a family activity that kids participate in and enjoy. Bait balls, made from chicken, squid, or fish, are tied to these tiny lightweight cotton flags, for lack of a better word. They're designed to entice the wasp and then track it back to its nest. It turns them into some kind of Judas wasp, and the entire family of hunters will run through the forest until they find that hidden hebon. And it's not that dissimilar from what I've witnessed while looking to catch Asian giant hornets in Vietnam. However, these tiny hebo are delicate, and there's much more art involved here in both enticing the wasp and designing something that is light enough for them to carry.
They change the size of the flag according to which direction the hebo might go. So if they go upwards, it's harder for them to carry something heavy, apparently. So she gives them lighter, the smaller ones. But if they go downwards, like she gives them the bigger ones.
Wow. Different families and hunters debate the best flag designs. Big and bright enough to easily track these tiny little wasps, but light enough that the wasp doesn't just drop the bait.
So it's some of these are styrofoam, some of these are plastic bag. That's cotton, he said.
But it's just something really light.
Yeah.
Successful tracking can uncover multiple nests, and with no limit on the number of entries into this competition, finding more nests means more chances to win. These nests also sell for just kind of ridiculous sums of money.
The cheapest nests on these tables are still going to cost you $65. Most of them are 2 kilos or above, so you're already $120 in. Like, it is not a cheap food.
So there's some pretty good incentive to find more of them there as well. After all, you are still a farmer for profit. A hornet farmer, but a farmer nonetheless. Once a nest is located, the colony is really carefully rehoused into these modular wooden boxes and moved from the forest to the house where they are going to be grown out for the rest of the year before the competition.
So this year they only have 8 boxes, but they only brought 2. But last year they had 25.
25 boxes?
25 boxes.
These boxes are designed to expand as the nest grows, providing a safe and ideal environment for the wasps. There's an art to constructing these boxes too, with each family using different techniques to mimic natural conditions or optimize growth.
So it seems like we're here just in time for lunchtime. Essentially, we have like a minced, chopped up liver hard with chicken breast, and they're placing it at the entrance of all of these hives. It's kind of wild seeing just how quickly these guys have taken to that fresh heart and breast mince. Like they've just got huge crowds going around it. Apparently they eat 3 or 4 times a day, just consuming a rather large amount of chicken.
The goal here, obviously, is to see who can produce the largest, healthiest nests.
These Hebu guys have been so helpful, showing us all around their community. They are super proud of this aspect of their culture. And it's cool to see this community room and everything else that's come out of it. How long have they known each other?
So I think Hebo, they've been doing it for a while, but they're the first generation of this group called like Aikokai. And they're the ones that started the festival. So they did it for 20 years. And then they retired, and then it shifted to like a different group of people who now have been doing it for 8 years now. So this is their 8th time doing the festival.
That's right. These guys kicked off a competition of hornet eating that's going strong almost 3 decades in.
All right, guys, now's the time where we pray for no rain tomorrow during the festival. No rain allowed, guys. Just hornet cakes.
The skies are clear in the morning. The hornet gods are rooting for us. And it's time to eat some hornets.
Good morning, people. It is the morning of the Hornet Festival. I'm quite excited. I see one truck in this giant greenhouse behind me already that is unloading several large hives of hornets, and we're going to see how this goes down today.
We arrive early, watching the Hebo girls putting on the final touches, while teams of competitors trickle in from the surrounding countryside. It's hard not to admire this event, kicked off nearly 30 years ago by a few old timers who just enjoyed farming hornets, and it's grown into this incredible, completely unique and enduring tradition. Somewhere along the line, a hornet suit gets handed to me, and apparently, I'm part of the action now.
I think it's time that we start smoking some hebo.
And it's not long before I'm being handed hornets. Asian giant hornets in this case, just like in Vietnam, they're eaten here.
Okay, you try.
Really good.
Yeah?
Apparently, they're even turned into wine. Murder hornet wine. Gifu isn't just hebo obsessed. They eat every kind of hornet they can get their hands on.
All right, guys, so I think that the gohe mochi, they are being brought up right now. It smells kind of ridiculously good. People are genuinely excited for this.
To finish up the gohe mochi, rice skewers are roasted on the grill to get that golden and slightly crispy finish. After cooling briefly, they are then brushed with a thick, and I mean thick, layer of that hornet miso. They are then once again flipped back on the grill to quickly caramelize up those hornets. And man, do these things look good at this point or what? I'm getting hungry again just doing this voiceover. They are then quickly boxed and served piping hot.
It's frantic. These things are flying off the shelf. People are buying 5 or 6 of them at once. They have huge rack of these hornet popsicles racked up behind them. Barbecue guys are working frantically to kind of keep pace. These hebo girls, I mean, they seem like they know what they are doing. This stuff is selling like absolute hotcakes. It seems like they do this for the passion, for the fun, but I bet they make absolute bank over this weekend.
Yeah, so like some of the people here at the festival, they buy these in bulks. Like I saw one lady who like bought 15, 16 of them.
That's crazy.
She's just carrying them all.
That's wild. I guess you only got once per year that you're gonna have the opportunity to eat this, unless you like raise them yourself. So you gotta make the most of it. All right, guys, we have purchased our hornet sticks. They were
400 yen per stick.
400 each stick. So after waiting a day and a half for this, we have now been loaded up with our hebo gohe mochi. These things are piping hot. I can feel it coming right through the tiny thin plastic casing. Erina, have you eaten this kind of stuff before?
No.
Not with this kind of dressing, right? All right, Erina is gonna grab this one, and you can sort of see it has like this really nice caramelization on it right away. There is hornet paste on the outside, is still really kind of sticky looking. Let's go for it. That is crazy. I almost get like a peanut-like flavor. I mean, I don't know what hebo tastes like, so it's hard to really tell. It has like this rich caramelized flavor. The rice is really sticky, gelatinous, kind of grips onto your teeth. It looks like it's popular amongst the hebo themselves. They're kind of like buzzing everywhere around. It has just really rich barbecue-like flavor. No lie, guys, that was like ridiculously good. I've got to admit, it had this kind of like weird, meaty, peanutty flavor, this rich gelatinous rice underneath, the grilled barbecue coming through. Man, I'm telling you, unusual fare food, but sensational.
With the food gone in a flash, it is now time for the main event. We're going to process these nests, weigh them, sell them, and then finally find out who is the greatest hornet farmer.
To do so, trucks roll into just this massive hornet-proof-ish tent where their buzzing cargo will be smoked and then carefully weighed. So the greenhouse is just getting filled up. We have maybe 6 or 7 small mini Japanese utility vehicles. We believe that it is around about time that we get smoking prepared for the competition, and we are going to first fumigate them so that they do not kind of like attack everyone at the festival. Apparently once you start smoking these things, they get kind of mad about it. Makes sense. You're about to eat their babies. Alright guys, so these tiny little hornets are super cute. They are black and white. They do have kind of mean looking mandibles and they sting like hell, but they seem almost like mini Pokemon. All of the guys and gals around here have like logos displaying their hebo on them. Yeah, it's just sort of has, let's say, like a big fan following.
The process begins with smoke just billowing from these kind of disposable fumigate. They fill the tent and specifically each of these nests with smoke and calm down the wasps. The enclosures are then taken apart with power drills and prying tools, and the nests are carefully extracted.
Looks like a good one, huh? This gentleman in front of us has placed horizontal sticks throughout his structure so that the hornet's more readily able to build their structure. It's a technique similar to what I've seen in Vietnam where they use like large bamboo pylons. That's why they're using this big Japanese handsaw now to kind of separate those out, maybe so that they don't contribute to the weight.
Farmers and judges meticulously remove any of the excess material, leaving just the hex cells that house the individual larvae. It's these brood cells that are going to be weighed and will count for the competition.
Remember guys, hornets and wasps do not have honey. This is strictly for the larvae. That's where all of the flavor is, the protein, and it is pretty ridiculously good vehicle for some of these Japanese flavors. It is really cool to see how all these different boxes are like set up. Everyone has a little bit of a different technique, a little bit of a different setup. But one universal sort of thing behind them seems to be that they all have this little square box, which is how they originally catch the wild hebo nests in these little boxes that one of the old gentlemen showed us earlier. All right, guys, so this is the nest of the gentleman who was helping us out yesterday. I'm rooting for these guys, and to be honest, their nest looks absolutely huge. The biggest unit here, I mean, in terms of hebo nests, it seems to be a monster. I mean, we're not even seeing the number of rows that there are. It is just as wide as that pretty big box that there was within. I count 7 or 8 different layers. It is packed full of larvae, which I imagine is what adds the weight. They've been trying to win this thing for 30 odd years since they began this competition. I think this might be their year. Okay, so that guy back there with the shop vac is responsible for the cleanup. Obviously, these kind of like ends of this tent are like getting lifted up and shut constantly. So you just don't want these hornets just invading the entire fairground. You don't want to get stung by these things. They still hurt like hell. And there's a lot of like lovely little grandmas running around here, kids. It would just be a bit of a disaster.
全部で52数エントリーをさせていただきました。
The heaviest of the bags are then weighed so that the organisers know who exactly the winner is. They're then laid out along this large display table and bracketed by weight. This allows onlookers to sort of take a gaze and see what they might want to buy and what they could potentially be cooking up. Once everything's been weighed up, the hornet nests are open to sale for the public.
Sell out first because they're cheaper, because the kilograms are less, and these ones tend to be like no one buys it really because it's so expensive.
Paradoxically, the smallest of the nests actually sell first. I guess it's easy to think about a dish that takes just 2 to 3 kilos of hornet larvae, but once you get to 4, 5, 6, and 7, I mean, that's a lot of hornet larvae. That's a problem. They're ready to be taken home, turned into whatever creative dishes these Japanese old-timers can come up with. My vote, though, would be for that cured teriyaki thing. Man, that was good.
That is ridiculously good. I'm not kidding. Insane. Guys, if you want to experience stuff like this, kind of like unique Japanese food experiences, then I would highly recommend Japan by Food, who have helped me put together this whole series here in Japan. They are a booking platform whereby they kind of take out the language barrier that you might experience trying to get these kind of like unique Japanese food experiences. And they cover just about everything: tuna cutting, other kind of in-depth cultural experiences, everything that surrounds food, and even simple stuff just like restaurant bookings. So if you'd like to help out the channel, or you're just interested in having a better time during your Japan trip, check out the links that will be in the description below. Check out Japan by Food. Honestly, I cannot thank them enough. There's no way I would have been able to put together something like this deep in the Japanese countryside, experiencing unique Japanese culinary events like this. So if you want to experience that kind of thing, check them out as well.
Some of these nests are going to sell for as much as $320. It's definitely not cheap stuff, but it doesn't seem to matter.
And you're able to just move down the line, select the nest that you would like to purchase, take it to the counter, and check out. It is simple. It's kind of like a grocery shop, except this time you're buying live hebu nests.
The fairground cleans out what's available on the table in no time. All 70-odd nests from today's competitors are scooped up by hungry fairgoers. But just overall, it's cool to see that something so niche is still so wildly popular.
All right, guys, we are well and truly wrapping up. The purchases of the Hebo Girls meals are now finished. The sales of the nest have completed, and we are just waiting for one thing, and that is the announcement of the winners. It seems like most people don't care, but this is what I'm here for.
お名前呼ばれましたら、実行委員長の前の方、優勝 重量 6410g。
Another year and another near miss for our original trio, as the heaviest nest comes in weighing over 6 kilos and takes home the gold.
Can you ask him, is he happy with that result?
いやー、まあこんなもんでしょうね。
He's like, yeah, I think it's about right.
Pretty good.
But having kicked things off almost 3 decades ago, their perseverance has ensured that this centuries-old practice still thrives. It captures new devotees each season, that next generation of hornet farmer. These guys might have never held the trophy, but in my book, and I'm sure in theirs, they've already achieved the ultimate win. They've kept this niche Japanese culture and tradition alive.
That is it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed, you might also enjoy this video on farming giant Asian hornets in Vietnam. Check it out.